Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to all of you in Network Professionals, the Cisco Networking Academy, and I am your instructor Ahmed Malik. Welcome to all of you in Microsoft Azure Fundamental Lecture number 4. In our previous lecture, we learned about the history of Microsoft Azure, how to access cloud platforms like AWS and Azure. What are the main requirements to work in cloud platform and how to create our free tier account in Microsoft Azure. In our today's lecture, we will discuss about the most common and important services offered by Microsoft Azure. So let's take a start. A brief tour of Azure services. Azure can help you to tackle tough business challenges. You bring your requirements, creativity, and favorite software development tools. Azure brings a massive global infrastructure that always available for you to build your applications on cloud. Most widely and commonly used categories offered by Microsoft Azure are compute, networking, storage, mobile, databases, web, Internet of Things, IoT, big data, artificial intelligence or machine learning, and DevOps. Compute services. Compute services are often one of the primary reasons why companies move to the Azure platform. Azure provides a range of options for hosting applications and services. Some common compute services and their use is as Azure Virtual Machine. Windows or Linux virtual machines can be hosted in Azure. Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set, used for scaling Windows or Linux VMs hosted in Azure. Azure Kubernetes Services, cluster management for VMs that run containerized services. Azure Service Fabric, a distributed system platform that runs in Azure or on premises. Azure Batch, a managed service for parallel and high performance computing applications. Azure Container Instance, containerized apps run on Azure without providing servers or VMs. Azure Functions, an event-driven serverless compute service. Networking services, linking compute resources and providing access to applications is the key function of Azure networking. Networking functionality in Azure includes a range of options to connect to the outside world, to the services and features in the global Azure data centers. Some main networking services along with their functions are Azure Virtual Network. Azure Virtual Network connects VMs to incoming virtual private network VPN connections. Azure Load Balancer. Azure Load Balancer balances the load between inbound and outbound connections to the applications or service endpoint. Azure Application Gateway optimize app server form delivery while increasing application security. Azure VPN Gateway access Azure Virtual Network through high performance VPN gateways. Azure DNS provides ultra fast DNS responses and ultra high domain availability. Azure Content Delivery Network delivers high bandwidth content to the customers globally. Azure DOS protection protects Azure hosted applications from distributed denial of services DOS attacks. Azure Traffic Manager distributes the network traffic across Azure regions worldwide. Azure Express Route. It connects to Azure over high bandwidth dedicated secure connections, and Azure Network Watcher monitors and diagnoses network issues by using scenario-based analysis. Azure Firewall implements high security and high availability firewall with unlimited scalability, and Azure WAN creates a unified wide area network WAN that connects local and remote sites. Azure Storage Services. There are different types of storage services available in Microsoft Azure as per the requirement of our data storage. Some most important storage services on Azure are Azure Blob Storage. This type of storage services are for very large objects such as videos, files, or bitmaps. You can say that this type of storage is used for unstructured data. Azure File Storage. It is used for file sharing that can be accessed and managed like a file server. Azure Queue Storage, a data store for queuing and reliably delivering messages between applications. This type of storage is most common in e-commerce business and for online payment methods. Azure Table Storage. Table storage is a service that stores non-relational structured data, also known as structured NoSQL data, in the cloud, providing a key or attribute store with a schemeless design. Normally, this type of storage is used for structured data, but unstructured data can also be stored here. All these types of storage services are durable, secure, scalable, managed, and accessible. Azure Mobile Services. With Azure, developers can create mobile backend services for iOS, Android, and Windows apps quickly and reliably. Features that are used to take time and increase project risks, such as adding corporate sign-in and then connecting to on-premises resources such as SAP, Oracle, SQL Server, and SharePoint are now simple to include. Other features of these services include offline data synchronization, connectivity to on-premises data, broadcasting, push notifications, auto-scaling to match business needs. Azure Database Services. Azure provides multiple database services to store a wide variety of data types and volumes. And also with global connectivity, this data is available to the users instantly. Some most common database services with their functionality are Azure Cosmos DB, globally distributed database that supports NoSQL options. Azure SQL database, fully managed relational database with auto-scale, intelligence, and robust security. Azure database for MySQL, fully managed and scalable MySQL relational database with high availability and security. Azure database for PostgreSQL, fully managed and scalable Postgre relational database with high availability and security. SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine, service that hosts enterprise SQL Server apps in the cloud. Azure Snap Analytics, fully managed data warehouse with integral security at every level of scale at no extra cost. Azure Database Migration Service. It's a service that migrates databases to the cloud with no application code changes. Azure Cache for Redis, fully managed service that cache frequently used and static data to reduce data and application latency. Azure database for MariaDB, fully managed and scalable MariaDB relational database with high availability and security. Azure Web Services. Having a great web experience is critical in today's business world. Azure includes first-class support to build and host web apps and HTTP-based web services. The following Azure services are focusing on web hosting. Azure App Service quickly create powerful cloud web-based apps. Azure Notification Hub send push notification to any platform from any backend. Azure API management push APIs to developers, partners, and employees securely and safely at high scale. Azure Cognitive Search deploy this fully managed search as a service. Web apps feature of Azure App Service. Create and deploy mission critical web apps at a large scale. Azure Single IR Service add real-time web functionality easily. Azure IoT Services. IoT stands for Internet of Things. People are able to access more information than ever before. Personal digital assistants led to smartphones, and now there are smart watches, smart thermostats, and even smart refrigerators. Personal computers used to be the norm. Now the internet allows any item that's online capable to access valuable information. This ability for devices to garner and then rely information for data analytics is referred to as IoT or Internet of Things. Some most common Internet services along with their functions are IoT Central. It is a fully managed global IoT software as a service SaaS solution that makes it easy to connect, monitor, and manage IoT assets at scale. Azure IoT Hub, a messaging hub that provides secure communication between and monitoring of millions of IoT devices. IoT Edge, fully managed service that allows data analysis models to be pushed directly onto the IoT devices, which allows them to react quickly to state challenges without needing to consult cloud-based AI models. Azure Big Data Services. Data comes in large formats and sizes. When we talk about big data, actually we are referring to large volumes of data. Data from weather systems, communication system, genomic research, imaging platform, and many other scenarios generate hundreds of gigabytes of data daily. This amount of data makes it hard to analyze and make decisions. It's often so large that traditional forms of processing and analysis are no longer appropriate. Open source cluster technologies have been developed to deal with this type of data. Azure supports a broad range of technologies and services to provide big data and analytics solutions. Some common big data services are Azure Synapse Analytics. Run analytics at a massive scale by using a cloud-based enterprise data warehouse that takes advantage of massively parallel processing to run complex queries quickly across petabytes of data. Azure HD Insight process massive amount of data with managed clusters of Hadoop clusters in the cloud. Azure Databricks integrates this collaborative Apache Spark-based analytics service with other big data services in the cloud. Azure Machine Learning. AI in the context of cloud computing is based around a broad range of services, the core of which is machine learning. Machine learning is a data science technique that allows computers to use existing data to forecast future behavior, outcomes, and trends. Using a machine learning technique, computers learn without being explicitly programmed. Forecasts or predictions from machine learning can make apps and devices smarter. For example, when you shop online, machine learning helps to recommend other products you might like based on what you have purchased. Or when your credit card is swept, machine learning compares the transaction to a database of transactions and helps to detect any fraud. And when your robot vacuum cleaner vacuums the room, machine learning helps it to decide whether the job is done or not. Some common machine learning or artificial intelligence services are Azure Machine Learning Service. It is a cloud-based environment you can use to develop, train, test, deploy, manage, and track machine learning models. It can auto-generate a model and auto-tune it for you. It will let you start training on your local machine and then scale out to the cloud as your ML Studio. It's a collaborative virtual workshop where you can build, test, and deploy machine learning solutions by using pre-built machine learning algorithms and data handling modules. Azure Artificial Intelligence. It's a closely related set of products or the cognitive services. You can use these pre-built APIs in your applications to solve complex problems. Some common AI services are Vision. It uses image processing algorithm to smartly identifying, caption, index, and moderate your picture and videos. Speech. It converts spoken audio into text, use voice for verification, or add speaker recognition to your app. Knowledge mapping. Map complex information and data to solve tasks such as intelligent recommendation and semantic search. Bing search. Add Bing search APIs to your apps and harness the ability to comb billions of web pages, images, videos, and news with a single API call. Natural language processing. It allows your apps to process natural language with pre-built scripts, evaluate sentiment, and learn how to recognize what users want. DevOps, a combination of development and operations. DevOps brings together people, processes, and technology by automating software delivery to provide a continuous value to your users. With Azure DevOps, you can create, build, and release pipeline that provide continuous integration, delivery, and deployment for your applications. You can integrate repositories and application tests, perform application monitoring, and work with built artifacts. You can also work with and backlog items for tracking, automate infrastructure development, and integrate a range of third-party tools and services such as Jenkins and Chef. All of these functions and many more are closely integrated with Azure to allow for consistent, repeatable deployments for your applications to provide streamlined build and release processes. Some common DevOps services by Azure are Azure DevOps. Use development collaboration tools such as high performance pipelines, free private Git repositories, configurable Kanban boards, and extensive automated and cloud based load testing, formerly known as Visual Studio Team Services. Azure Dev Test Labs quickly create on-demand Windows and Linux-based environments to test or demo applications directly from deployment pipelines. That's enough for today, and stay connected for all upcoming videos. Thank you very much.